Whitley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister claimed education was his top priority, yet when the man he put in charge of education recovery sent in his report, the Prime Minister casually tossed it into the nearest Whitehall waste paper bin. Sir Kevin Collins recommended that in the light of the damage that the COVID storm caused for our schools and colleges, there was an urgent need for a catch-up injection of funds to the tune of £15 billion. In response, the Secretary of State for Education on the 2nd of June announced there was a meagre £1.4 million on offer. This equates to £50 per pupil compared to £2,500 per child that the Netherlands has allocated. Poor Sir Kevin was put in a position of a latter-day Oliver Twist, pleading for more, sir. Like Mr. Bumble in the book, this government rudely dismissed Sir Kevin's request. His resignation is an indictment of the government and its record. The Institute of Fiscal Studies reported that total school spending per pupil fell by 8% between 2010 and 2019. It was, the report stated, the biggest fall in educational spending since the 1970s. In my constituency, Birkenhead, home to two of the most deprived wards in the entire country, this physical savagery plays havoc with the lives of a generation. To give one example of many, at Cathcart Street Primary School, there was a fall in spending of £117,000, equating to a reduction of £625 per pupil. These cuts created one lost generation of children. We must not let COVID lead to another. Our children have endured unprecedented disruption to their education. Many lack the laptops and internet to be able to learn at home. They've had to cope with lockdowns, an exam fiasco, their free school dinners whipped away from school canteens, and a health and safety regime that led to confusion, chaos and closures. The impact on their well-being, their mental health and their learning has been dramatic, but Labour's Child Recovery Plan addresses this. It sets out a programme that can prevent an entire generation being consigned to an educational equivalent of the Dark Ages. £15 billion now can provide for breakfast clubs and new activities for thousands. It can provide support to deal with the mountain of mental health problems that children face. It can provide extra support for early years education and put an end to the scandal of children going hungry. Mr. Speaker, or Mr. Deputy Speaker, spending this money today is not a drain on this country's resources. It is an investment in the future. My party's plan can provide us with the teachers, doctors, nurses, care workers, builders and engineers who will rebuild this country in the years to come. I call on this government to adopt a Labour plan in full and with immediate effect. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.